Thanks very much, Anthony, for your overview of the Australian Housing Data Portal. For those that know, that's all the certificate data that comes from the NatHost scheme. So great to have Anthony here. And if there are super technical questions, perhaps Anthony can help me out. All right, so NatHost in a nutshell. It's a framework providing CSIRO-backed software tools and assessments, provides a streamlined pathway to meet the National Construction Code energy efficiency requirements, provides reliable energy performance assessments and ratings for new homes. It calculates how much heat is needed to be artificially added or removed to keep each room comfortable for every hour of the year. Different options in NatHost can be modelled and tested. For example, comparing various living room orientations in the home, as well as window layouts. By doing this testing, you can see which orientations and house designs will perform better. Okay, so the changes for National Construction Code 2022, as outlined by Gary. Thanks, Gary. So we've now got the two changes. We've got the increase in the thermal rating, and we've got the new whole of home energy use budget, which is out of 0 to 100. You'll see the NatHost certificate there on the right-hand side, the logo at the top showing the thermal stars, and the logo at the bottom, which shows the whole of home rating, which requires a minimum of 60 out of 100. So the energy use budget now contains appliances fixed in the homes, so all your heating and cooling and your hot water systems, as well as cooking, lighting, and pool and spa pumps. And for those that put on PV, you can include the PV and the batteries. It's important to note that as the thermal star rating is an input to the whole of home rating, the higher the thermal rating you have, increases your ability to get a good whole of home rating. As part of the update to the NatHost scheme, as part of NCC 2022, there was a review of the climate files. So the climate files were updated. So all the data now includes climate weather input data up until 2015. As part of that collection and addition of data, there was also the re-star banding done for the NatHost star bands. So this has actually meant that Brisbane has fared better. So with the changes to NatHost as part of NCC 2022, Brisbane gets a higher thermal rating, whereas some other locations like Sydney and Melbourne fared slightly worse. But overall, there was zero change. All right, just a bit of myth busting. I've been with the NatHost program for 3 years, but I am aware that previous versions of the software were deemed not to be as suitable for the tropical climates that we find here in Queensland. So it is true to say that the star bands in hot climates allowances are made for a higher cooling load in Cairns than Brisbane. And the assumptions in the NatHost tools also show that the thermostat settings are different for the air conditioning. So to stay cool and comfortable in Darwin, the setting is at 26.5 degrees, whereas in Hobart it's set to 23 degrees. The new software now recognises the ceiling fans and the breezes, which were previously underestimated. And it's really important to note that the NatHost assumptions set behind the tool talk about the windows being opened when it's beneficial to do so, and the thermostat settings are modified if there is air movement available. So if the windows are opened, then you'll have that benefit through the NatHost tools, whereas some of the other compliance pathways, you won't have that. Okay, so climate is key with whole of home. Whilst NatHost whole of home is flexible, you can select the group of appliances, whereas in some of the other compliance pathways, it's not as flexible. It's really important to get an energy assessor early, so to get the basics right and have a really solid thermal star rating first. And as I noted before, with the solid thermal star rating, that benefit then flows through to your whole of home budget, with the minimum being required of 60 out of 100. It's noted also that in warmer climates, you can benefit significantly by adding solar PV, because the appliances have an emphasis on cooling. Sun shines during the day, you can turn your air conditioning on in the tropical weather. So just a bit about using NatHost in Queensland. So passive solar design will have the greatest impact on a rating for the least cost. It's really important to orientate the rooms within the home. So ensuring the living areas have the best orientation. So in the northern climates here in Queensland, that means protecting your living areas from the west-facing sun. So a good opportunity there is to place some of the rooms that you don't use as frequently, so your laundries, your bathrooms, on the west face. The other really important aspect is the glazing. The glazing that you can put in, the more ventilation that you can create, so the higher the opening of the window, the better the rating will be in the NatHERS scheme. That means selecting a custom window from the expanded window library in NatHERS will improve your thermal star rating. Now, currently, the NatHERS tools, most of them have included the WordsLink custom and default library windows. So you'll see those benefits in the thermal star ratings. Back to Anthony's point about seeing a little bit more concrete slab floor on ground, that connected to the ground is really important in terms of the breathability of the home in the summers. And as I mentioned before, the ventilation and air movement is critical also for the Queensland's warm climate. So having the windows that are being able to be opened and not having solar heat gain coefficients being high in your glazing, these things can make a big difference to thermal star rating. So now with the addition of whole of home, it's important to choose your appliances wisely. You do need to include your heating, cooling and hot water appliances. So the higher the efficiency, the higher the whole of home rating that you'll receive. It's noted in Queensland, however, that for hot water, the solar hot water systems and heat pumps are performing more optimally with the high air ambience temperature here. Just wanted to touch on quickly, in the coming weeks, for those that know Your Home, it's a Your Home guide for energy efficiency, sustainable design. It's quite a hefty document, but also available online, really easy to search. As part of the house plan designs on the Your Home website, they're being updated for the NCC 2022. These are going to be available in the coming weeks. There are several home designs in there that are fit for purpose for Queensland, including the tropical design that you can see there, the 2-story tilapia house. So these are there to provide a guide. In many cases, homeowners will see these guides and then sort of work with an architect to make changes. So if you'd like any more information about NatHERS and the upcoming designs that will be available, please sign up to the NatHERS newsletter. So it's nathers, nathers.gov.au. And just to note that those designs do also include the accessible living, so all the NCC 2022 requirements. Thanks.